My name's Matt Hunter. I'm the head athletic trainer here at Bard College. I've been an athletic trainer certified for 3 years now. I got my graduate degree in athletic training from Seton Hall University. Went to WKU, Western Kentucky University for my undergrad. Been at Bard, as I said, for 3 years. Actually, been an athletic trainer for 3 years, been at Bard for 3 years, and I'm here taking care of all 18 sports with help from my assistant.
Fantastic. Now, were you an athlete?
I was. I've played hockey my entire life, picked up lacrosse in college, and I run triathlons, I run Ironman, and then just working out all the time, trying to show my athletes how to take care of their bodies in the best way they can.
What led you into specializing in athlete care?
I've always been an athlete, as I said, and I've always tried to find the best way to take care of myself. And it hit me some random, Thursday afternoon in a February back my junior year in undergrad. I just knew this is what I was going to do. Went online that night, found my grad program, and here I am.
Oh, fantastic. So, now, as an athlete, did you endure many injuries? I know hockey players.
The only serious injury I had was a hip joint sprain, which it's very difficult to sprain your hip because of the amount of musculature in your hips. And it was something that limited me, and even now I'm still dealing with, but over the past year I've found some amazing techniques that basically is going to enable me to play hockey the rest of my life.
And can you describe a couple of those techniques?
Certain things such as like foam rolling, and then joint mobbing. It's easier to show. I wish we could actually, do a little functional piece, but maybe that's later. But it's more you putting your body into positions that people are not used to, such as getting down into a full squat, because only the westernized world sits in chairs and, goes to the bathroom on a toilet. Everybody else has to go all the way down to the ground, and that's how you promote proper hip joint health. Nobody knows that. It seems like everybody says, oh, we have to sit. You can't go below 90 when squatting up in the gym. You can, and that's where you have to be careful with it, one, but it promotes proper health, and that's what the education part comes from. That's where I come in and show the athletes it's okay to do this, and it's okay to do safely, but that's where you have to have that supervision.
Now, do you think having that injury has influenced how you treat athletes? Did you go to the doctors when you had that injury? Did you?
Yes, I went to a primary care physician first, went and had an x-ray. They said there was something funky in the x-ray. Had an MRI, said there was blood in the hip joint. Basically, the doctor told me to shut it down for 2 weeks, take ibuprofen. Went to a PT. It didn't really do much at the PT clinic. I don't know, maybe it was my lack of knowledge, my lack of, want to, but it was more a really hands-off approach. And my belief, and this has changed over the past year of just doing a lot of research, is the moment we stop moving is the moment we die. As humans, we evolved to run the Serengeti plains to chase down antelope, and if we got injured, something was going to get us. So we had to figure out ways, our body had to figure out ways to keep promoting health, and that's where doctors and to some point athletic trainers and PTs, we're all in this together, have told people, immobilize it, stop moving. That's kind of wrong, and that's where I've changed recently in the past year with my athletes, moving in a safe manner, and then having someone such as myself help them learn how to stretch themselves, or have myself do the manual therapy, the muscle energy techniques, the soft tissue work to get joints, bones, muscles, everything functioning properly. Because if it's not, one injury just leads to another, and you go downhill fast.
So it's basically about you took your own initiative, your kind of own research, and do your treatment according to your knowledge?
Yes, I'm very thankful for the knowledge Seton Hall offered to me. That program basically kick-started my ability to learn in the healthcare field. Healthcare is learning a foreign language, basically. And in 2 years at Seton Hall, I learned a foreign language, which was healthcare. And then over the past couple of years, I found a lot of resources through the internet. And then it's nice that we have a library here that I can get all peer-reviewed journal articles and a lot of hands-on stuff, going to conferences and seeing things and try to put the big picture together, because my ultimate goal in life is not only for myself to do this, but to be able to show other people how to have a perfect body, which it's kind of an oxymoron because you can never be perfect, but if you can try to attain perfection, or if you shoot for perfection, you'll attain excellence, as Vince Lombardi said. But my goal is to find the best way to take care of the human body. Everything from nutrition to movement to sleep to getting proper sunlight.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Now tell me about one of your athletes, perhaps someone who's really endured a bad injury and your approach when they see you?
We had actually recently an athlete who we thought towards the ACL, but didn't. Thankfully, we don't believe so. Hasn't gotten the MRI yet, but when he initially injured it, we basically put it in a straight leg immobilizer for him to move around. But when he's not moving around, instead of in the past just keeping it, elevated and locked up, we say, hey, in a safe, pain-free range of motion, move it. Keep it moving. So one, it works out the swelling. Two, it doesn't tighten up tendons, ligaments, capsule, fascia, because as soon as you immobilize, all that stuff tightens up, and then it's even harder down the road to get that range of motion back. So with him, and yes, we're doing the icing, which I've kind of gotten away from post 48, 72 hours because of certain research that's out that icing is not needed for what we're using it for, per se, but there's so much research yet to read and to do. There's a lack of research in the modality of cryotherapy field. So, I'm sorry.
You say you're a teacher. Is that kind of your approach to the students who come?
Mm-hmm. I am very, very much so an educator and teacher to all these athletes because they come in here scared, worried, and that's one of those things I forget is people when they're injured, they're freaked out. Especially when they're a non-healthcare person, is they don't know their body. So it's, oh my God, what's going on? And sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't, sometimes I forget it, sometimes I do. So it's basically trying to, one, take care of their anxiety, and then two, showing them what the human body's capable of and what they can do to heal themselves and heal themselves quicker.
What do you want them to know about pain management?
That we can live pain-free our entire lives.
How so?
It's basically with movement and proper nutrition and proper functional movement. You see a lot of people up in the gym doing, say, bicep curls. That's non-functional. That doesn't cross over into sport. It doesn't work the muscle in the way it's supposed to with the rest of the body because everything's connected, but yet we try to isolate. It's a way of, the bodybuilding way has kind of gotten creeped into the gym way too much, but then it's what we put into our bodies. Our immunity is compromised by putting in all this whole food, processed garbage that basically our immunity has to fight off what we're putting into it and then has to try to heal ourselves from the exercise we do and then coming into contact with bacteria and viruses. And, let's say, I have an athlete right now struggling with mono. Maybe if she was eating healthier, her immunity could help fight that off quicker. She could heal faster, get back out on the field.
Oh, fantastic. I had a question, but athletes. What's your protocol when an athlete's in severe pain? Do you send them to a doctor? Do you?
It depends on the situation. If it's an acute episode, such as they go down with an ankle sprain on the court, as long as I don't feel that there's an X-ray needed, basically it's trying to control that pain. At first, it's getting them past that initial anxiety of holy crap, I don't know what this is. I'm freaking out. I'm in extreme pain. It's trying to get them to calm down, breathe. Obviously, the mind is a lot stronger than the body. And if you could focus on certain cues, basically certain meditation type stuff, might work. That's a little new agey. Some of my athletes don't believe in it as much, but it's basically controlling that episode, getting into a little bit of ice because it is a great analgesic. That is one of those things that is hands down proven. Ice is an analgesic. It's a pain reliever. It shuts off nerves. So at first, if it's an acute ankle injury, we bring them in, ice or game ready. Game ready is a compression icing unit that we have those things on the wall, which would be nice if you could do it during the camera, but we can't. Say it's a chronic injury and we can't figure out why their pain is still there. Usually I can. But if I can't, over maybe a week period, it's okay, let's go see our primary care physician, our team doctor. And if she can't figure it out, we have avenues we go down, x-rays, MRIs, and then other specialists. But for the most part, I'm very thankful that I can basically determine why they're in pain. You have to figure out what the problem is to fix the issue. And that's where a lot of people just want to work on the issue using something such as narcotics. But you have to fix the problem first, and that's what people either don't know or don't even care about.
Now, do you go to the doctor with your students and work out a program? If they require seeing a doctor, do you talk to them, work it through with them, or?
If I feel that it's necessary for them to go see the physician, they obviously have their own appointment with them, but the physician and I are always in communication. We discuss what the injury is, and she basically gives me free rein to take care of them because I've Very fortunate to have the abilities I do, taking care of the athletes. And then not every protocol is the same for all athletes. Everybody's different. As I said, there's no cookie cutter, hey, every ankle, goes according to which there are certain time frames that, hey, if this isn't getting better, something's wrong, which we actually had an athlete a couple weeks ago who sprained his ankle, and I thought nothing was broken at first. Nothing came back truly positive. Sent him to the podiatrist, x-ray was negative, but then the MRI shows 3 fractures, and we're just kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? So, but you'll notice when something's not progressing properly that you try to take care of it as conservatively as you can and take care of them. So.
Now we're at a college, and addiction, from drinking is an issue. How do you kind of approach that when you're treating in sports medicine?
I am very blunt. I look them in the eyes. I'm like, guys, girls, no drinking, no drugs right now. Right now is your body. If they leave this door and don't heed my warning, I can't make them stop. But I know that I've gotten through to most of them. 90% of them, I look them in the eyes and I'm saying, hey, this is what's going on. And they realize what I've said, whether they, heed the warning or not. Then there's that other 10 to 20 that they're going to go do whatever they want, and you can't save everybody in a sense. It's up to them. It's their own. It's like myself. I love taking care of my body. No one else is going to do it for me.
So you were talking about what you want your athletes to know when they graduate on pain management.
I want them to be able to walk out these doors with not only a little bit of knowledge about what their body can do, but the ability to find more knowledge and information on their body. And there are certain websites that I trust to a point, and that's one of those things that it's nice that I learn all this new stuff because I tried it on myself first. I basically use myself as a little bit of a guinea pig because I don't want to just make somebody try something without me doing it first, because then I'd be sort of liable, and I wouldn't be a good practitioner in that sense. So it's fun to try it on myself because I've gained a lot of good, I don't even know the right word. We'll skip that part. But I have, yes, but
Insight?
yes, insight. Thank you,
Yeah.
insight. But being able to show it to the athletes and have them walk out the door happier, smiling. Because when you're smiling, you're usually not in pain. So.
Fantastic. What's your opinion on narcotics and treating pain?
That is a last resort, last ditch effort, in my opinion. Narcotics. I feel that actually, at first, I don't believe any of our athletes are on narcotics. Again, we don't have big high collision sports such as football or hockey. We will have men's lacrosse next year. But even so, there are other ways to go about it first, and it's treating the problem, not the issue. I feel that narcotics just treats the issue that arises from which certain injuries, such as, say a person with stenosis, it's where you might need it. But other things such as, serious muscle contusions, serious sprains, and if you're coming back from, say, an ACL injury, you might need it in those initial stages of getting through therapy because you got to have things moving, and that can be a little painful, breaking up scar tissue, but it's very select cases. I don't believe that it should ever be used for long-term use. I have a brother who has low back pain because of a bulging disc, and he doesn't do the things I show him because I know I could help him feel better. And when he does little bits of it, he's, oh wow, this works, but then stops because it's easier to take a pill than it is to work on your body. And over this past year, I've done a lot of work on my body, and you can ask any of my athletes, I'm completely different than I was a year ago. But it took me a year. It took me that hard work, that consistency, that diligence, the want to do it. Most people just want that quick, easy fix. Give me a pill, doctor. And that's the wrong way to go about any, I know this is more about narcotics, but anything with medication.
So you're definitely about kind of finding the issue, finding the problem, and treating it. And you talked about how you really believe that the body needs to move to heal.
Mm-hmm. It does. The body, once immobilized, everything tightens up. We're supposed to be able to move through great ranges of motion with our hips, our shoulders, ankles, everything. And we don't use our bodies the way we used to. We don't have to run down antelope. We don't have to go walk 10 miles to find water. We are very fortunate in a sense to live in a safe, natural environment. We have, shelter, we have roofs, we have proper sanitation. But technology is a blessing, it's a curse, as I said off camera earlier, because we can sit at a computer all day, do work, yet we don't take the 10,000 steps a day we're supposed to. We don't get into the gym and work functionally. We think that doing bicep curls and leg extensions are the way to work out our body. We're supposed to sprint a couple days a week. We're supposed to run. run to a point. We're supposed to walk, swim, move, have fun, play, be out in the sun. We're not meant to be in a cave such as my office here. I manage, but I am very thankful that lacrosse and baseball is starting right now because I get to get outside. But it's the moment we stop moving is the moment we die. And that's part of our evolution. If you just look back at the anthropological studies. So.
Fantastic. One last question for me. What's your greatest kind of healing story with an athlete that you're, most proud or that you remember?
I probably can't say his name, but one of our basketball guys who tore one ACL before he got here, had that repaired, and then tore one his first month here. So he wasn't even able to play his freshman year. So having him come back, doing work himself, work with me, working with him almost every day, wasting loads and loads of tape, which I wouldn't say wasting because I will miss him. But seeing him back out on that court after going through both ACLs, and then he sprained his MCL, and then foot issues because his biomechanics are just shot the rest of his life. But yet he still strives to be the best and still comes in, takes care of his body as best he can, and he also follows the paleo lifestyle that I do and the nutrition that's going to help him stay as healthy as he can. But watching him score his first 2 points in a college uniform here was awesome. So.
Awesome. It seems like an endurance game and a game of perseverance to heal and get over injuries.
It is, very much so. And there are times where it's draining on both practitioner and patient. And athletic training, you are the first line of defense and offense because a lot of athletic training is prevention. And if you do the prevention up front, you shouldn't have to work as much on the back end. But ACLs do tear, and that's where it's tough. We had, I think, 3-4 of them last year, and thankfully we don't have any this year. Knock on some wood real quick. But it's a day-to-day, not even with injuries, but just the prevention aspect, coming in, using the foam rollers, doing the door stretching, the mini band walks, and it's little things that I try to show the athletes that take care of their bodies through a season. Whether it be 2-3 months, such as a soccer season, which is shorter, or upwards of 5 months, which the basketball season was this year. It's a long, draining, day-to-day process where, thankfully, we don't have to use narcotics. They can use all these techniques that I can show them and they can learn.
So it's about keeping healthy and then to make the healing process easier if anything were to occur.
Yeah, the human body heals itself. We're just here to hopefully prevent it from breaking down too much and then expediting the process of healing. Because there's nothing I can do that's going to say, oh, you're healed, your muscles are good. The body takes time, and that's where you see it with all studies. As you get older, it takes longer to heal, and the body does start to break down, but you can limit that with the resistance training, being up in the gym, being around people. We're supposed to not sit on computers all day. We're supposed to interact. We're supposed to be in a community, get out and dance every night. That's what the tribes used to do in Africa, and they still do to a point. So I want every one of my athletes to make every single practice, every single game, and I'm going to fail at that challenge. But I'm not pushing someone back if they're not healthy. If they can go and they're not going to cause themselves pain, cool. If they're not going to cause themselves more damage, I'm okay with it. But I am not for running an athlete back out there just because a coach needs their body. And it is a day-to-day struggle, because coaches need their athletes. I don't want them in here. I want them out there and healthy. But I wait maybe a little longer than I should. But again, they're not getting paid. We're in college here. They're just here to have fun, enjoy the sport, especially at our level. I don't want to put someone out there that's going to cause long-term damage if they're not healthy. I understand the question, and yes, you see people return from an ACL in 4 or 5 months, and they're back out there, but what are the long-term ramifications? We don't even know yet, rushing these people back there, because a lot of this quick return to play ACL protocols and others, but the ACL one is the big name. Everybody knows ACL. Do we know what we're doing to these people long term? What's going to happen to their knees later down the road? Is it worth it?
Do you fight with the coaches ever? Do you get back and forth?
There's never been any heated moments because I explain my point. I have facts and figures that can back up what it is I'm explaining. I have an assistant. I have a team physician that we're all on the same page. We all believe the same thing. We're not here to hurt anybody. There's no point to do that. And I hate that it happens. But again, once you get to the professional ranks and D1, Division I college athletics, it's a little different. It's more of a job, where you're getting paid, so you feel you have to get back out there, and I feel that that's more on the athlete at that point in time. Here, we're here to take care of the athletes, the student athletes, and education's first. Especially, we deal with concussions a lot, and I hate that coaches want to rush them back. And I even feel that we are potentially rushing them back too quick, even by the protocol we use, which is almost a week to 2 week return to play protocol. We don't even know what we're doing. It's dangerous. I hate to think 20 years from now what's going to come out. It's a little scary, and that's where I was even talking to my assistant the other day, and I said, dude, we need to make some changes for next year, because any hit to the head is a concussion, in my opinion. I don't care whether it's, oh, well, I have a 1 out of 10 of a headache and that's it. That's still a concussion. Why are we trying to rush these people back? And what are we doing? We don't know. It's just, we're still just now starting to scratch the surface with the people up at Boston with the CTE injuries, or not injuries, it's more of a disease. So
It seems like the athletes, is it the athlete's choice finally, or is it the doctor's choice, trainer's choice?
Here, it's the athletic trainer's final say. Yes, we might get a clearance from a non-team physician, but we'll make the final say on whether you're safe or not. And for the most part, I want them to be out there. I'm not here to hold you out of play. I want you to go have fun. I want you to go be a kid and laugh and play and jump around, but I will hold you out without hesitation. And it's sometimes the athletes don't like me, but I think almost across the board, 99% of the time afterwards, they're thankful for it.
Because you're respecting long term.
Which, it's tough for coaches to see that, because coaches need the here and now. Yes, I want the here and now as well, but you have to think big picture. If you're only thinking short term, especially with concussions, yeah, maybe they'll forget their child's name when they get older because of too many concussions. I don't want that on me. I don't think coaches want it on them, but I don't think they truly think about it. But again, not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but I don't want that on me. I want my athletes to walk out of here knowing that when they're older, they're going to live full, fulfilling lives. So I have been around certain surfaces. I have seen little bits of narcotics and epidurals and cortisone shots. I don't like them, but that being said, as long as people are educated and they're willing to take the risk, they're getting paid, hey, that's your body. I will do everything in my power to hopefully prevent the use of that, but if that's what we have to do as a last-ditch effort, I understand you're getting paid millions of dollars and you need to be out there. It is a little bit of a business. I would feel hockey not so much as others, even football not so much, because you gotta love it. You can't just play hockey or football and not love what you're doing, because your body takes a toll. And I feel that it's a last-ditch effort, but that's where someone such as myself and other athletic trainers, PTs, OTs, doctors, chiros, everybody should be utilized first before we have to go down the route of injections and pills. But that being said, it does happen. So
It's balancing the risk.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the risks.
Yeah, so some of the risks are with cortisone shots. You get kidney issues. You can have bone issues. And then just simple injuries such as concussions. You hear NFL athletes say it all the time. I could care less. I'm getting paid millions of dollars. I love what I do right now. I don't care what happens in 20 years. You say that now, but when you get there, just take a look at Dick Butkus. Take a look at William Perry. These guys that are older. It's scary. And then think of like Junior Seau and all the guys who are killing themselves, and because of this, the changes in their brains. You say it's okay now, but you should heed the warning. So